Hey guys, Tonya McKenzie, Sand & Shores PR, where we tell true stories that have a powerful effect on real lives. I am your brand and PR consultant. Wanted to chat with you a little bit today about social media management and brand awareness, branding. Someone recently asked me, don't social media managers do branding? And it's actually two different things. There's a few different elements in here, and I'm going to break it down for you really quick. Branding and building your brand is one of the most important aspects of your business, your small business, large business, retail shop, nonprofit, business to business. It's very important. It's who you are. It's who you want to be. It's who you want to be known as. And it's also who you want to attract, right? So if you are an educational consultant or you provide some type of educational service, you definitely aren't looking for someone to come to you that's looking for someone to help them buy equipment for their business. That's different things. So the message that you give off is incredibly important as to who you attract. They are looking for something in particular, and you are offering something in particular. So your branding is very important to that. Effective branding, it gives you a competitive edge. It helps you stand out. So even with other people in your industry, effective branding is going to help you stand out from them. Like, why would they go to them instead of you, or the other way around? Why would they come to you instead of them? And all those things are very, very important. Your brand is your promise, right? It's your promise to your customers, your potential customers. It's your commitment to them. What are you promising? What are you always going to make sure that you provide, whether it's a superior customer service or quick and effective service or products from your company. So all of those things are wrapped into your brand. It's the foundation of who you are. It includes your logo, it includes your website, it includes packaging and the image and whatever else that you're promoting. All of those things are part of your branding. It's part of your brand strategy. So branding and public relations, they go hand in hand. And once you nail down your brand value and your branding, you can start building brand awareness with your public relations efforts. And all of those things are very important. While branding a product or service or person is all about promoting a term, what are some of the things that identify with you and how you get those ideals, those images, those words, and those phrases out to the public? So that's when social media comes in, right? But you can't effectively use social media for your business until you have taken the time to carve out your brand. Your brand is important. And once you have taken that time, then you can lean more into your brand strategy. And your social media is a part of that brand strategy. Some people say, well, what is your brand strategy? It's your messaging, right? So once you nail down the messaging, it is the channels in which you put those out. So your social media platforms, or even media channels, if you have that kind of leverage. It's the content that you put out. When you strategize about your brand, you're saying, I'm going to do these certain things with my brand to get a particular result. So your brand strategy is important. It also includes the content and the visuals. You make those decisions before you start putting things on social media because you want it to be consistent. You want it to identify with your brand. You don't want to put things out that don't positively identify with your brand. And I hope that makes sense to you. Your brand strategy is how. How are you having these conversations? How are you getting your brand out there? Your brand strategy includes what you're putting out there. Again, we're talking about messaging, content, visuals. All of these things work well together. Where are you putting them out? What platforms? What media outlets? What in-person places are you actually getting your brand out to the public and to your target audience? And then that includes who. Who is your target audience? Who are you putting these messages out to? All of that is important in regards to your brand strategy. And we all understand that a strategy takes thinking, forethought, it takes planning, it takes execution, and understanding how all of those things work well together. So again, social media is a part of your brand strategy, but you don't brand yourself strictly through social media. It's a part of the strategy. Social media is turning out to be one of the most effective tools to market your brand and amplify your brand values and your image and those types of things once it's established. But you have to establish it first. Want to make sure that I'm very clear about this. Don't start advertising and marketing your business until you have already designed and implemented your brand and your brand strategy. Because what happens is people will, you modify it as you go along. And the truth is that can confuse people. So if you're wondering why sometimes they don't immediately come to you, even if you have a great message or a great offering, they might be a little confused based on a message or an advertisement that you put out before. So you master your message, you master and you perfect your craft and what you're offering first and the message behind that before you start advertising. You want to take Coca-Cola. Everybody knows a Coke and a smile. They haven't changed that, right? So no matter what else they put out, you're always going to see a Coke and a smile. Something fun, something energetic, something that at least ends with a smile, because that is a part of their brand. You're always going to have a Coke and a smile in their commercials, in their advertisements, on their social media platform, because that is a part of their brand messaging that they've already mastered. Now you start getting pictures and images with a Coke and a frown, you might be trying to understand where's this change coming from and what does that all include. So you want to be consistent and really nail down those things before you actually start putting that message out. Social media branding handled correctly, it can help you identify and connect to your target audience in the most optimal way. So once you've established your brand and then you start to utilize social media right, that message is going to connect with the right people. But also part of your branding is identifying your target audience. So again, we're talking about your target audience in your branding, mastering your branding before you start to advertise and market. Because if you don't, you're really wasting money once you realize that's not your target audience. Everybody is not your target audience. You have a target, and we'll talk about that again in a second. Social media should be a part of your brand awareness strategy. Brand awareness is different than branding. You brand your company with the message, with the colors, with the logo. Brand awareness campaign is helping people learn who you are. So you want to build a brand awareness campaign that will effectively get people to start to identify certain things with you, whether it's colors or messages or your logo, your themes. Building brand awareness. That's your brand awareness strategy. So once you've solidified your brand and what that includes, then you build a brand awareness strategy that you really nail down what are the things you're going to do to get your message out in an optimal way. It forms an essential part of your overall marketing efforts on social platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So once you get those things nailed down, you want to take Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and see how you are going to implement your brand awareness campaign on those platforms. These are things you have to think about and you plan. You don't just do them as they come along. Now you will wind up with cool things that come up and you want to immediately post, but sometimes you need to pull back on that and see if there's an opportunity to pitch that to the media, right? So now we're looking at your PR, your public relations campaign, and how that reflects on some of the cool things that you and your business are doing. Social media branding requires consistency using the right platforms. So you don't want to confuse the message. Again, we want to be consistent on what we're putting out. At least in theory, if we're happy, if it's a quality or a budgetary type of service or product, we always want to stay on message with that no matter what we're putting out. So then you're strategic about how you say certain things and how you put it out to the public on social media. The purpose is always to boost brand awareness. So once you've solidified your brand, then you want to boost brand awareness by continuously introducing and educating your brand to the public. And by leveraging the power of social media for business purposes, you can build fandom. So when people start seeing that you're consistent and you're always putting out the same stuff that they like because they're your target audience, this is how you build fans. You build your fandom. And then it's your responsibility to take those fans and turn them into customers or clients of yours, right? If they learn to trust you and trust what you're putting out because you're consistent, then they start to buy into your service and your business. And you're building these raving fans because they know they can always come back to you. That's also how you build your referral base. If they know that they can always come back to you for something in particular, they're more inclined to send you referrals because they know that what they got from you, they're happy with. These people over here will be happy. My friend, my girlfriend will be happy. My homeboy over here will be happy if I send them to this car service or this real estate agent. Things like that. You want to be consistent. I don't think that we are clear enough about how important consistency is. So when you're jumping around, sometimes people get confused about if they will still use you or follow you. And, if they trust what you're putting out, consistency is important. Social media is great to help reach goals in your business, right? The social media platforms help you build awareness, which we've talked about. They help you build leads. If you do it right and you're asking the right questions or they're interested in what you're putting out based on your brand proposition, then they start to come to you for answers or come to you for solutions. You're building leads. Those turn into sales. It's really great when you have something to offer and you're able to put it out on social media and you start to get clients in sales. You build loyalty, again, because you're being consistent. And also customer service. When people know they can come to you for answers and you positioned yourself as an expert in the field, they're going to come to you for answers for things that they want answers to in that industry or in that field or for that particular service or for that product. They're going to come to you, and that is a great way to provide customer service. You want to listen to. This is very important. Social media can only do so much of your branding. You have to be consistent. I cannot say that enough. Do not start to market until you have established your brand. Do not confuse your customers. Put out the same message all the time. No matter what you're advertising, no matter what you're marketing, your brand proposition should always be embedded in your message. Very important. Sand and Shores, we tell true stories to have a powerful effect on real lives. We don't deal with clients that don't have a powerful story. There's no fluff. We don't fluff it up. We tell true stories. No matter what business it is, there has to be a story behind it because our job is to connect the customer with the business to help build loyalty. Brand loyalty is huge. You don't want people to come to you just once. You want them to continue coming to you. And when they understand who you are, what you are providing, and why that is important, they continue to come back and you build those raving fans. And since we love to thrive in the success of our clients, we are able to work with clients that have true stories behind the product or service that they're providing. That's just our brand proposition. You have to decide what yours is. Here are 4 things really quick that you can immediately implement in your brand strategy on your social media platforms, okay? Solidify your cyber identity. Know your business. What identifies your brand? How do you stand out from others in your field? There may be a company that does what you do, but they work with high-end clients, and you might work with the lower-end clients, but you can churn it faster. If that is your identity, always speak to that. Use words that will identify with quick, affordable, things of that nature that help you stand out against your your nearest competitor. That's important. Know your business. Identify your brand. Always identify your brand and how you stand out. Always speak to that. Don't ever leave that behind, because someone that's looking for a solution, there are key words that you can speak to that will get their attention and garner their support. Know your audience. Who is your target audience? What sex are they? Boys, girls, both? Where is their geographical location? Who are you targeting? What is their culture like? Is it every culture? What is the age of your target audience? Who's buying your product? You have to identify who is the core audience that you are speaking to and speak to them. Get in their shoes for a minute. Sit and think who you are trying to talk to. We had a meeting recently, and we have a lot of financial advisors in our area. Well, it's important to understand who their target audience is. Who are you speaking to? It also helps me be able to refer business to them. And I'm glad I asked, because there was one person that he spoke to older adults that are starting to think about retirement. And the other financial advisor really wants young couples who may not have had kids yet to really start having that conversation. So you have to identify who your target audience is and really speak to them. Sit in their shoes. Think about the things that they consider when they're making decisions on spending, right? And then speak to that. Always speak to that. Your content matters. The appropriate content on the right platform matters. Video is so important. And I think everybody's starting to understand that video is going to increase about 50% by 2020. So everyone is going to start using video more. That also includes your competitor. So understand that and know that you need strong video content to put out on your platforms, and which platforms take which video better, like which ones really work best on which platform. The same thing that works on Twitter does not work on Instagram. So making sure that you understand what that looks like. You got to do your homework or find someone that can help you with that. Super important. Now, visuals are always important. Your brand is visual on social media. So the visuals need to be pleasing and hone in on your target audience. If I am targeting active older adults, they are not going to be enticed by the same thing that tweens want to see. So you have to be very conscious of that. Just putting out anything and thinking you're going to get everybody, it's not going to work. Spend your time wisely, know who your target audience is, and go for it. Like, really dig in on what they like and what is going to please them and get their attention. Those first 2 seconds of a video will make or break. Are they going to watch it, or are they going to scroll through? So you got to make sure that you know who you're talking to, who's looking at your stuff, who you're targeting, so that you can put out the type of content that's going to get and keep their attention, right? So Facebook, they love behind the scenes stuff, quotes, quizzes, newsletters, blog posts. Twitter is more about quotes, industry news, newsletters, links, events. LinkedIn, the more professional, we all know it's the more professional site. Product updates, love that. Industry news, perfect. Job postings, newsletters and announcements. They all like newsletters and announcements. And then Pinterest, I'm not a huge Pinterest person, but product photos are huge. Guides and ebooks, huge. Videos, infographics, quotes, huge on Pinterest. Not really my thing. I like information, lots of information, but you need to find out where your target audience sits, where they like to play, and what they want to see to get their attention. So for more information, solidifying your brand proposition, building brand awareness, crafting your social media strategy, or constructing your public relations strategy, contact Sand & Shores PR. We are here to help you at sandandshores.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, IG, and LinkedIn, Sand & Shores. All right, guys, hope that helped a little bit. Anytime, someone asks me, sends in some questions, I'm going to hop on and hopefully answer and help you guys grow your business. It's hugely important that these things are implemented. Oh, cross-promoting. You know what? Be looking out for my next post on cross promoting. That is huge. Will garner you a lot of exposure, super effective, and I'll help you figure out who you should be cross promoting with. So hope that helped. Again, Tonya McKenzie at Sand & Shores, SANDANDSHORES, sandandshores.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and LinkedIn. Have a good one.